This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. I'm Missy Kohler. It is Tuesday, June 8th. Las Vegas Metro Police held a news conference this afternoon to provide further updates on the arrest of Samantha Moreno Rodriguez, the mother of Liam Husted. Liam was found deceased on May 28th in Mountain Springs. Liam's body was positively identified using DNA evidence, and a nationwide arrest was issued for the arrest of Rodriguez. Lieutenant Raymond Spencer of the Las Vegas Metro Police Department gave a timeline of the investigation and an update of the arrest.
So on Monday, May 24th, the father of Liam returned home to his house in San Jose, California. When the father arrived home, he noticed that all of Liam's belongings and all of Samantha's belongings were gone. There was a message that was left for him by Samantha. And I'm just going to quote a little bit of that message, but she specifically tells him, quote, "I'm sorry I had to do it like this." She also goes on to say that I'm going to try to get a house for Liam and I, and that we can talk about this in the future. There was nothing suspicious in that message that would lead the father to believe that Liam or Samantha were involved in any kind of foul play or that there was any harm potentially to come. Over the next week, the father basically did not know what to do. It was on June 1st that the father contacted the San Jose Police Department because he wanted to document the incident. San Jose Police responded to his house and they spoke with him. The patrol officers listened to the message. I've also listened to the message, and there was nothing suspicious from that message. It indicated that Samantha had basically left him and took Liam with her, and they were going somewhere else. He did not want to get Samantha in trouble, and he chose not to file a report to document the parental abduction. It was on the 4th when a friend of Samantha's noticed the sketch that had been circulating on local news networks, and she also knew that Samantha was missing. After observing that, she then went to the San Jose Police Department and explained to them that she felt that Liam could potentially be the person in that sketch. As soon as San Jose Police were presented with that information, they immediately launched an investigation and were very persistent in getting a hold of me. That is when they spoke with me that evening, and that's when we began coordinating our investigations. It is the following morning that we flew there, retrieved the pillow from Liam's bedroom, and brought that back to our forensics lab. So we have I talked yesterday about the information where we could put Samantha in Laguna Beach. We also could place her in Victorville. Since the press conference yesterday, we can place her at a local hotel here in Las Vegas on the 27th. When she was at that hotel, we believe, from the information that we have right now, that Liam was alive. From there, on the 28th, is when we found Liam's body at Mountain Springs. This morning, at around 6 a.m., members of the FBI's apprehension team in Denver took her into custody.
Lieutenant Spencer went on to say that Rodriguez was not alone when arrested, but the male she was with is not expected to be involved in Liam's death. Rodriguez was taken into custody without incident. Motive is still being investigated, and the cause of death has not been released. Spencer said the cause of death will not be released until the medical examiner's report is received, pending the toxicology. Spencer reported that law enforcement is 100% sure that Liam was killed at Mountain Springs, where his body was found. A man is under arrest and facing several charges in connection with a deadly weekend crash on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Mark Moden is facing several charges, including DUI. Nevada Highway Patrol says Moden was behind the wheel of a Jeep Wrangler when it crashed into the rear of a moped Saturday night in Las Vegas. Investigators say both vehicles were traveling south on Las Vegas Boulevard near Hollywood Boulevard when the Jeep, which was traveling at a higher rate of speed, struck the rear of the moped. The man riding the moped, identified as 38-year-old Justin Mott of North Las Vegas, was ejected from the vehicle and died at the scene. The Jeep came to a stop still in contact with the moped. Moden now faces 2 felony charges, including DUI above the legal limit, resulting in death, and reckless driving resulting in death or substantial bodily harm. He also faces 3 misdemeanor charges, including failure to decrease speed or use due care, driving without a driver's license, and open alcohol container in a vehicle. This crash marks the Nevada Highway Patrol Southern Command's 32nd fatal crash this year, resulting in 39 fatalities.
After returning from a weekend away, a Pahrump resident comes back to find that her home has been burglarized. The Nye County Sheriff's Office received a report of a burglary at a residence. The victim advised that she was away from her property for the weekend and returned to discover several stolen items to include several speakers, a propane room heater, bathroom faucets, new plumbing parts, and copper air conditioning tubing. Deputies contacted Cash America Super Pawn on South Highway 160 and discovered that some of the speakers had been pawned by Anthony Arthur. About 1 month later, deputies responded to the pawn store once again with the victim to identify the alleged stolen speaker. The victim's son was able to positively identify the speaker by connecting it via Bluetooth. While speaking with Arthur, he was asked about the speaker. He stated that it wasn't his, but he sold it for somebody. When asked who he sold it for, he said he didn't want to say. Arthur further stated that he did not break into the residence, but would not say who did. When Arthur was asked why he sold the speaker if he knew it was stolen, he allegedly said drugs. According to the declaration of arrest, Arthur also said that he had sold the copper air conditioning tubing at Pahrump Valley Disposal. Arthur stated that he didn't know about the other stolen items and that he only sold the speaker. Based on Arthur's statements and the slips from Super Pawn, Arthur was placed under arrest for burglary of a business. He was transported to Nye County Detention Center and booked. Deputies found a rifle and several rounds of ammunition when they answered a call for shots fired. Deputies answered a call for reports of loud music and possible shots being fired. When they arrived at the address, they checked the immediate area and heard 5 to 6 shots fired from a nearby residence. Rounds could be heard ricocheting in an unsafe manner, placing anyone in the surrounding area in danger. Deputies approached the home on foot from 2 sides. One deputy went back to his vehicle and drove around to the south end of the property with emergency lights activated and began making announcements. While making that approach, the other deputy was heard shouting commands at the suspect, identified as Jose Valencia Cacho. Valencia Cacho appeared to be in possession of a high-caliber rifle. Valencia Cacho was commanded to drop the rifle, and he complied and walked to the deputy, where he was detained and placed into handcuffs. During a sweep of the property, deputies located the rifle that Valencia Cacho set down. They discovered that the rifle had a non-detachable magazine with ammunition in the magazine and no ammunition in the chamber. Also discovered was approximately 35 spent 9mm shell casings. All were found in the same general area. Deputies also found on a table in the backyard a box containing 30 rounds of 9mm ammo, a case containing 27 rounds of 9mm ammo, and a box with 22 rounds of 7.62 by 39mm rounds. Valencia Cacho refused to tell law enforcement where the remainder of the firearms were located, and deputies were unsuccessful finding them. According to the declaration of arrest, Valencia Cacho admitted to shooting off a firearm but stated it was into the ground. Jose Valencia Cacho was arrested for discharging a gun where a person might be endangered. He was booked at the Nye County Detention Center. And we have more News 25 coming right up. Stay close.
You're watching News 25. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leaks, Pahrump's optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
We're happy you're with us tonight. An improving economy is bumping up gas prices. The FDA approves a new drug to treat Alzheimer's disease, and the SEC is watching for stock manipulation. Angela Miles reports.
Topping our news, gas prices are creeping up as oil prices accelerate. AAA reports the national average per gallon of unleaded is $3.05. Crude oil prices this week touched $70 per barrel, driven by the economic recovery as more Americans hit the road. The FDA is approving the use of an experimental drug to treat Alzheimer's. That drug, aducanumab, is made by Biogen. The drug is developed for patients who are in the early stages of Alzheimer's. However, last year, an FDA advisory committee concluded there is not enough evidence to support the effectiveness of the drug. The SEC is keeping a close watch for the possibility of manipulated trading in meme stocks such as AMC, according to CNBC. Shares of AMC are on a wild ride as investors check for what's hot to trade on websites including Reddit and Twitter. Meantime, a number of insiders have been selling shares of AMC.
Chief Scott Lewis, Director of Emergency Management, gave his report at the last Board of County Commissioners meeting. Lewis reported on vaccines and COVID numbers, as well as giving important reminders for summer heat and fire safety.
Regarding COVID, Nye County remains out of flag status. However, we continue to receive new cases. The new cases since the last meeting included the report of 1 additional new death. Therefore, we are just under 3,000 total cases and 108 deaths. Countywide, we have vaccinated over 25,000 people. We are continuing our planned transition back to the health division from DEM. The county health nurse has been ordering vaccines and been engaged in vaccinations from their respective offices located in both Pahrump and Tonopah. Appointments can also be made by telephoning 775-751-7070. I'll repeat that number, 775-751-7070. We're also closely following a federal proposal of crossing vaccine manufacturers as a possible booster approach. We will continue or keep you posted on the CDC developments and recommendations as they occur. We continue to push hard at max capacity to vaccinate as many people as possible, and we have achieved supply and demand balance in every area of the county. Maintenance and vaccination plans will continue accordingly. We continue with our homebound senior plan and our homeless plans. Several additional items. I'd like to address the obvious, which is the heat is back this week. We remind everyone to stay hydrated and always keep extra water with you and wear appropriate clothing. Exposure is common in summertime medical emergencies. Therefore, we remind everyone to keep in contact with your elderly family members and neighbors with special needs. This time of year, we often have fall victims occurring outside their house and are left in an exposed position for an extended period of time, and we want to try and eliminate that. Make certain that vehicles are prepared for summer driving with special considerations to the batteries, air conditioning, coolant, and especially the tires. This time of year, we have a tendency to have more significant rollovers due to tire failures. Southern Nevada, including southern Nye County, remains in an extreme drought emergency. Erratic fire behavior can be expected throughout the summer. Therefore, all fire departments have stepped up their respective preparedness and training. We ask our citizens to remain vigilant and be extremely careful with potential ignition sources. Pahrump Fire recently completed their Wildland 130 refresher class, so in the event that we have any substantial wildland fires, we are prepared. In Pahrump, and coinciding with our federal partners, the burn moratorium has begun and will be enforced through the fall.
June is Scoliosis Awareness Month. Scoliosis is an abnormal curvature of the spine, and it affects about 7 million people in the U.S. Most cases are mild and treated with bracing, while others require surgery that limits flexibility. Today, we meet a young ballerina whose dream to dance was threatened by a severe case of scoliosis. Erica Foreman has more on the novel surgery that has her back on point.
I just really liked how the dancers looked on the stage, and I loved their point shoes, and I really wanted to do that.
Aubrey Cyndia has been dancing since preschool. When she was 9, doctors saw a curvature in her spine, and she was diagnosed with scoliosis.
He told us if the curve progressed to 25 degrees that she would need a brace to wear. It was scary. He said if it progressed to over 40, she would probably need a surgery.
Aubrey wore a back brace for 4 years and continued to dance. But while on vacation, her mom noticed her curve had changed and scheduled an appointment the next day.
He walked in and I could tell. I started crying. She said the curve had progressed significantly.
When scoliosis worsens, spinal fusion surgery, where metal rods are inserted to reposition the spine, is considered the gold standard. But Dr. Ryan Goodwin at Cleveland Clinic Children's suggested a more flexible solution.
Tethering is an option for patients who still have growth remaining and their curves are large enough. Imagine their spine is curved like this. We apply the tether to this side. So what that would do is actually straighten it a little bit, and it keeps this side from growing. And as the child continues to grow, this side of the spine will continue to grow straighter over time, depending on how much growth they have remaining.
Aubrey underwent a 4-hour minimally invasive tethering surgery. 5 months later, she returned to dance, gymnastics, and aerial acrobatics.
I feel the same as I was like before I was diagnosed.
It's way better than it was before. No brace, dance is great, and the surgeries made it so she can do whatever she wants. The future's bright for her now because of this.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
Aubrey is already a professional level ballerina and plans to pursue a career in the performing arts. Dr. Goodwin says currently only a small subset of scoliosis patients are candidates for tethering, although it's a relatively new procedure and that may evolve. Stay with us. We'll have more News 25 coming right up.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you like horses and you like to ride horses, you have a new option in Pahrump. Sundance Ranch of Nevada is now open for business. News 25's Deanna O'Donnell caught up with Sandy Pence and Jeannie Hammerly right after they cut the ribbon during a grand opening ceremony this past weekend.
Well, it was pretty awesome. We had a lot of our friends come in, a lot of new people came. We had entertainment, DJ Mary. We had the Pahrump Gunfighters. And we had the Silver Tappers that came in to dance, and everybody was awesome. Yeah.
Tell me about Sundance Ranch.
It is a ranch that is open to anybody that would like to ride. Trail rides, lessons. We also have a petting zoo with Leroy the goat, which is over there. And we have ducks and chickens, a goose, and a bearded dragon.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah. So there's plenty to pet. And we teach horsemanship, so whatever you want to do. Fantastic. English, Western, whatever. If they want to bring their own horse, they are allowed to do that. They have to let us know ahead of time, and then we will take them out in the trail.
So are you guys open officially after the state now? People can find out more?
Open officially, yes. Yeah, we have all our licenses. We're all registered.
We have a website. You can
and
Google
a Facebook page.
Yep, and a Facebook page.
Yeah.
Find out more by just looking up Sundance Ranch there.
Yeah, and I post on the Facebook page different things about horses, not just about our ranch.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
Okay. So informational site as well.
Yeah, sunset rides with a meal is one of the things we offer with a cowboy meal, and stargazing when the stars are out correctly.
Yeah, we have a good telescope. My husband's an amateur astronomer, so he'll set that up and show you the stars.
There you go.
For more information, you can visit Sundance Ranch of Nevada on Facebook or go to their website, sundanceranchnv.com. The ranch is located at 5285 South Plantation Street here in Pahrump. The Pahrump chapter of the Disabled American Veterans was excited about holding their annual Veterans Appreciation Barbecue last weekend, and News 25 was there to capture some of the fun. Ian Deutsch Memorial Park was the place to be on Saturday, June 5th, as veterans were celebrated with a barbecue. Hamburgers, hot dogs, and all the fixings were on the menu, and veterans and their families ate for free, but everyone was invited. There was a 50-50 raffle, live entertainment, and some classic cars on display. Probably what was enjoyed the most was the opportunity to get together with friends, new and old, to just enjoy the day.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler staring out the KPVM weather window. Wow, look at all that wind we had today. And hot. It's like a convected oven out there. We'll tell you all about the weather when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Delightful to see you on a Taco Tuesday. Look at the weather all up and down the state. Man, cooling off just a little bit up in Fernley all the way down to actually Goldfield's about 78, 80 degrees. Other than Carson City, what are you guys doing there? Somebody left the fridge door open apparently on a Taco Tuesday, trying to cool off that salsa and wrecked it for everybody. 70-degree high. Out in Beatty, it's 88 for a high. Amargosa, you're looking at 92. Vegas all the way up to 95 degrees, and in Death Valley, 104. Yep, you win the prize, I guess. Good thing you're in California. I guess we're still in contention for the prize. What is the prize? I don't know yet. Find out. You're in the Paradise of Pahrump. 89 degrees. It'll be a little trophy, something you love. 90 was our high today. A little sweltery feeling like with that humidity at 15%, and it's kind of increasing as the day goes on. Sun rose this morning at 5:26 a.m. and it's setting this evening. 8 bells straight at 8 o'clock. Look for that sunset. It's going to be beautiful. We get some clear skies mostly, but those clouds will give us some nice color. Winds continuing to buffet us throughout the day at 20 miles per hour and into the evening, and that humidity is kicking up. What's it look like for tomorrow? Well, a lot of the same, actually. 20-mile-per-hour winds, humidity staying with us. We're going to have some cloud cover. Temperatures staying in the upper 80s until about Friday, and then we'll see this increasing trend in our temperatures. It's going to be kind of a sweaty, hot weekend. We're reaching triple digits by Sunday. Clear skies, 14-mile-per-hour winds as we head on into the week. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Actually, that's not too bad. I think I'll keep it on a Taco Tuesday. Back to the desk. It's Missy.
Thanks, John. I can take the heat. I don't even mind the triple-digit temperatures, but those big, blustery, gusty winds, those I could do without. That's going to do it for News 25 tonight. We thank you so much for tuning in and hope that you have a lovely evening. Thanks for watching.